Okay, everyone, welcome back. Last class we talked about how images can be represented as matrices, and we learned how to um, work with indexed images that look up their color values in a color table, and we also learned to work with non-indexed images that have the RGB values represented as the third dimension of the image. And your assignment had you add some noise to those images, which we'll be going over in class. Let's get Matlab ready and started. Today we're going to talk about cell arrays, which we've mentioned already. We're going to talk about a command similar to display called fprintf that can also write into text files and read from text files. And so we'll be working with a text file. And evaluate, an important command that you can evaluate whole strings of text that you can first put together with a command as if you're pasting them into the command window. And in the class time, we'll be preparing for the test with some important examples on reading other people's code to find out what it's going to do. So first, we're going to talk about cell arrays. In the e-class, I'll upload this file, new exercise rt.xls, and so we'll use that file and we'll read in that file with this read table command. So here it's already in my workspace here, so I'll say data equals read table new exercise rt.xls. So here's all my data coming in, and I can open up that in the variable editor and look at the different columns, and you can see this one, trial label, as strings, different from the assignment that you have. There's one column that has a set of strings. So let's work with that. I'll clear my command window here. So we can extract one column from that table, that string column. We can say that labels is equal to data, the whole, every row, and we want this, just the column named trial label. So there we have this in our workspace now, something called labels, which is a table in and of itself. So we can open that and see that it's a table. But maybe we don't want to treat it as a table. We can get stuff inside the table instead of get the table itself by typing in a little bit different brackets. New labels is equal to data, and now we're going to use the curly brackets here, and this otherwise the same command. And close that bracket first, and then close the curly bracket. Oh. There we go. And now we have this variable new labels, which you can see isn't a table anymore. It's a cell array. We've talked about cell arrays. This becomes a cell array. So now we can use the cell array similar to how we did before. We can type in new label 1, and we get our answer becomes a cell in and of itself. It's the string warm-up in a cell. Remember that we can replace that with the curly brackets and get the string out itself. So now our answer is a string. And we can even look up a certain character in that string, like the first letter, like this, with first curly brackets and then round brackets to represent the letters of that string. So this new labels 1 is the cell itself. It brings back a cell. So if we say like this, trash is equal to new labels 1, trash becomes a cell. If you use the curly brackets, however, trash becomes a string, a character array. And we can address elements of that character array with a combination of the two types of brackets. So now we got just the first letter. So we could do similar things with our tables actually. So if we want to get this data out of our tables, not as a table itself, so let's go back to where we wrote new labels. That command. So here you remember that new labels was a cell. We could also instead have used the curly brackets here. And also using the round brackets here on the outside. And now a new label becomes a table. So as we use those round brackets there, it becomes a table itself. It means the output is a table, not the table's contents. So we could replace those with these round brackets, and instead this variable new labels a table. So we can make this new matrix here. Here's an example of when this might be useful. New matrix equals data, curly bracket, all the rows, and maybe we want something called subject and something called RT. So it means the output is the contents of these columns. So let's see what this new matrix is. It's a double now. It's no longer a table. So now it's just raw numbers, with the first one being the subject and the second one being the RT. So we got that data out of its table form, and now it's just a matrix. So if we had that exercise from the homework to compute the average RT for each subject, we could do something like we did in the homework, where we say for I equals 1 to 20, good RT equals the data from that subject where there was no error. And the mean RT is the mean of that good data. A good way to get that data out of the matrix. In this case, there was no subject 3, just like in the assignment, there was no subject 21. Great, so I'll start a new video to work on this reading and writing files with the fprintf command. So I'll see you in the next video.